Didn't Jung believe in your laws of attraction? I don't think so. I don't think the concept existed back then. Someone sold a book about it, like someone was selling a book, and then that's where it came from. So I don't think, but maybe he did. Maybe he did. He certainly believed in archetypes and a collective consciousness. So maybe he believed in something akin to that. But the law of attraction that goes around these days is just a modern sort of self-help, pseudo, new age idea that helped someone to sell a lot of books. And it's one of these ideas, a bit like psychics used to. The world of the psychic is predicated on having a belief in the, I want to say, esoteric. So like back in the day, the church was the big thing. Like before everyone had a telly, before everyone had a radio even, the church was really important to everyone's life, and God was really important, and most people would believe in God. So if you said I can communicate with spirits, then you would be like taken seriously, because everyone believed in spirits and God and everything. These days people are more secular, they're less religious, the religions are more diverse, there's less core belief in that sort of spirit realm, let's say. So back in the day, long time ago, there'd be a lot of people who would make their money talking shit about magic spirits or whatever. Nowadays in the modern world, there are still a lot of people on the grift, but being a slight adjacent Dean Rothwell psychic doesn't cut the mustard really these days, and they want to move into different fields. I mean, look at Alan doing his true crime. Like, he might have been a different kind of grifter, but the manifestation thing, it's in the realm of hippie magic, woo magic, and those people can less often now rely on a sort of sense of sort of curse or talismanic effect. But instead, like the reason that this takes hold as well is that they talk about the universe in that and stuff like that. Like, there's almost a modern sort of physics, not physics based, but you know what I mean, sort of, we know a lot more about the world now, we have a lot more modern ideas, so to use these ideas, not incorporated in, but like to accept those modern scientific ideas and then say, but still magic. Like, I just think it's just a sort of modern way of selling concepts and ideas, and ultimately there are people who gain from that. The people who sold the book, they gained from it a lot. So and I think if you want to test something, improvably, scientifically, I just don't think it holds up to any rigorous testing. I don't think it's very valid ideas, really. So it's fair enough if you want to do it and think about your goals. I don't think there's anything negative about focusing on your goals, but I think that in itself will just help you to focus on your goals. So it's a bit of a placebo effect. But the magic universe isn't going to necessarily hand you things on the plate. You have to work for them. And I think that if like for example, the England versus Spain game, what if we all did manifest? Like, who wins the game? What, the ones who do the most manifesting, the better manifestors, or does the universe decide? Like, I just don't really think that really works. Like, we all have our own desires, goals and drives, and like another aspect of this, back when, like, these are psychological concepts that have changed in society, and so we have a different form of belief happening, right? Back in the old days, and I'm talking about the old days when God was big and you were small, like, you were just a little cog in the wheel and you fucking knew it. The king was the king, the lords and ladies were the lords and ladies, and the rest of us were serfs. And we, like, some of us worked in factories, and just like all my life I work in a factory. And when I say factories, I don't mean like the nice one that my mate works up at the road with all safety equipment and stuff, with shifts. Like, I mean, like you lose your arm in the thresher, factories. Like, people just used to live much more brutal and difficult lives, and they considered themselves part of a bigger group, like the Christians, the God-fearing people, of which there were many more socially, would think of, like, these bigger concepts. The big family would live together. You'd see them all the time. They'd all be round, like, there were bigger family units living together. So I think you'd feel like you were more part of a big group. And so the idea that you would get your personal goals achieved, like the things you want out of life just for you, by sort of wishing for them, praying to God for your own personal things. Like that's even sort of poo-pooed in basically, Abrahamic religion, isn't it? Praying for your own, like God will sort you out if you're a good person. So you go and help other people, and then you sort of like, rely on. I suppose that system works because if everyone's helping each other, like if everyone in the church group thinks the best way to help is to help other people, and then maybe my life will improve. Everyone else in the church group is going to help you to improve your life because you're a helpful person that helps them. Like it's a good social thing. You get rid of that. You secularize society now. You get to say no more church, no more believing in God. Everyone's an individual. Margaret Thatcher said it in the 80s. There's no such thing as society. It's a capitalist Western society. It's about the individual. It's Randian economics. It's Keynesian economics and it's Randian principles. So your selfishness helps to drive society. If you want the freshest food, so does everyone else. So now you're all fighting for the freshest food. So someone's going to provide really fresh food, and that's good. So you get fresh food. Like it's about driving society through individual goals, and sometimes they line up, but you have your own freedom of choice. You are consumer sovereign. And so with all that taken into account, the modern way people live, the new religion, the new universal idea of truth that's going to get you what you want is now that you should just pray to the universe for yourself, for your own selfish ends, and that the universe thinks you're so good it will just provide for you. Because it's not judging you morally. You don't have to be moral anymore. You don't have to be a good person. You don't have to like come up to the standard of social, like the church group. Like what I'm saying is like those 10 commandments are good for society, but within society on a macro level, like being kind to your neighbour, like people who are devout in their faith will do that. People who are not won't, so you don't have to do it anymore. You just ask the universe for you. And so it's a sort of modern retelling of the fable that you can pray and have your prayers answered by the mystic great one, and in doing so you will it preys on your hope. It preys on your hope. And in the past, you couldn't sell that idea to people because they would have said, no, the universe isn't going to do that, X, Y, Z. Like I've explained, like God would not reward you for this. It's not virtuous. But today, they don't believe in those same virtues. Society has changed. So this is what I mean. It's a social construct. Like that concept has spread and taken hold because of the way people believe about themselves today, about their own individualism and their own position within society. Whether that's true or not, whether they are in fact the most important person in the whole fucking universe, each individually, all of them, and that the whole universe has been created just to sort of give them what they want if only they could ask for it in the right way. I don't believe that. I just don't believe it at all. I think it's a nonsense. But it's easier for a small little ant to think that they are the most important ant in the whole colony than it is for them to perceive the whole fucking world and all of the universal stuff. And most of the people that are into this universe, like manifestation stuff, are not that heavily into all the other more grounded sciences, are they? Like in the main, a lot of them are into a lot of other like off the wall stuff. So I just think it's, like I said, I think it's a symptom of society, a new age, a neo new age self-help, insta fix, get what you want, life will be better, prey upon your hopes. And if you don't get it right, listen, if you manifest and you get what you want out of life, you can say it was the manifesting. You can't prove it. It might be the manifesting, it might not. People succeed without manifesting, so provably you don't have to manifest. But you could say it was that. If you don't get what you want out of life, now what? Are you manifesting wrong? It's your fault. And I'd say, well, in some ways, maybe it is. Maybe you should have worked harder to achieve your goals in different ways. But it takes off the agency, doesn't it? It's no longer if you're reading this book and you're saying, oh, I'm manifesting, I've not manifested right up to this point, so my problems in life have not been my fault. It's not that I haven't worked hard enough or X, Y, Z. It's that I wasn't manifesting. So now I can manifest, life will be better. So that's a bit easy, isn't it? So I think that helps to sell it as well, because people want that easy hope. And what you're basically selling there is magic beans, is just hope. Because if people did succeed, then you can just point and say it's like if I gave you all a magic hat, or whatever, you wear this magic hat and you'll be successful, and if you weren't successful, I say you weren't wearing the magic hat enough, you didn't wear it right, you hadn't got it on right. But if you did get successful, it's my magic hat. Obviously, everything else you do, which is the core point. You get up in the morning. From what I understand, the manifestation, it involves you concentrating on your goals at some point. In order to do that, you have to understand what they are, visualize them, and then while you're thinking about them, you might end up focusing on a pathway to achieving them. Whereas if you were a disorganized thinker beforehand, like maybe you just hadn't been able to goal set. So maybe just the people that couldn't goal set can now goal set, and they become more successful. Like, so yeah, but I really, 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 really take a bit of more convincing about the magic universe just wants me to be happy if I were to just ask it correctly. Yeah, I can't have it. I've been talking about that for ages now. But yeah, I don't mind if it's provable. I don't mind if things can be shown, but not anecdotal and not by someone who's trying to sell a book, because it's just the same as this. Like, Alan's, listen, the big acid test here is Alan thinks it's good. Alan's into it. So, like, who are you going to go with?
Mind works. Yes, I built him as a game, as a character. Every one of the primary characters in my books, and most of the ones that are just supporting characters, are based on people that I've run into, that I've known, based on events I remember. Okay, and that includes the off-worlders. Now, the neat part about it is it's time to look in your head. Thank you very much, Ellie. It's time to look in your head and go, okay, how are we going to change?
I mean, bearing in mind as well, Ellie Arquette's a manifestation coach, isn't she? There's a lot of these things, like, I will reserve just basically only now for Debs, really. But there's a lot of these people, like, if you're in a profession where scammers and blaggers and scammers can just thrive, and you can say, well, I'm a good one, but everyone else is a scammer, then there's a problem, because it's probably just all a scam. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, she's a manifestation coach, Ellie Arquette, and you know that it's a scam because Ellie's doing it, yeah? Like, she's got a new one at the moment with her sunglasses. This is funny. My first design of my cat eye UVA 400 sunglasses, now available. It's got my logo on the side. Super beautiful. Buy them in the shop. Yeah. Takes me to here, which... Where's the sunglasses? Shop here. There's the sunglasses. $150 in the shop. Look, $150 on Ellie Arquette's shop, yeah? If I want to buy a pair of these sunglasses. She's designed them, apparently. Right, check this out. Alibaba cat eye sunglasses. Let's find them on Alibaba on wholesale. Because I think this is them, isn't it? Is that them? Or is it that them? Might be these ones. Let's find... It might be these ones. Designed by Ellie Arquette, apparently. $3.19 a piece for 40 pieces. You get them on Alibaba. Or like, she might have gone for the upmarket version, $10 a pop. Like, they're not $150. You buy them in bulk on a website, and then you sell them on. It's just a scam. It's just a blag, yeah? Like, she's charging $150 for hers. I'm telling you, like, there's no way in the world all of this crap, all this makeup, all this stuff, it's just Alibaba. It's just like drop shipping. She's not even drop shipping it. She's buying it in bulk and trying to flog it on. Like, this is your manifestation coach who's manifesting. Like, she's teaching people to manifest, so you'd think she'd be doing well, but she's not. You don't hear people like Elon Musk and like other massively successful people in interviews talking extensively about manifestation, do you? Like, this is what my sort of barometer for it, my acid test is. Are other scammers doing it? Are they scamming? If so, how can you guarantee that it's right and it's good? Because there are definitely people with the manifestation scamming hard. Came in hard. Yeah, I see that comment there as well, Pixie Fluff. This is why I won't choose a religion to follow. I think clearly, if this is I'm not preaching here, but if there is a God, then there are some logical things that make sense. Like, there will be one God because God is all powerful. So, like, if I believe in an all powerful God and not the Roman or Greek set of different gods, or like Hindu different gods, if I believe in one all powerful God, then there's one God, right? And if there's one God, then I think it's fair enough that if I believe in this sort of sense of universal justice or being good or whatever, like, and my relationship with God is that it should be between me and God, really. Like, I don't think there should be some special magic person on earth that was born like I was, that's special, closer to God, and I'm not as close to God. I think we're all close to God equally. That seems self-evident, to coin the phrase from the American whatever. So I think it's obvious we're all equal in front of God. Yeah. So if that's the case, then I don't need some special, highly qualified, I guess, priest or whomever to be the leader of the church in front of me. Like, I can just have a relationship with God and we can be cool with that. I do think as well, the books, I understand prophecy, prophets. Like, I think it's an interesting concept. I like to investigate the words and the teachings of the prophets. The legitimacy of all the prophets is in question, because there wasn't just Jesus and Muhammad. There were lots more. Sorry, Muhammad, peace be upon him. There were lots more. Obviously, Abraham was a prophet. There was lots of them. So, like, investigating all of those stories and taking from it what you want to is important, because like religion, from what I'm saying, like Islam, Christianity, Judaism to an extent, like they're all the same religion, aren't they? They're all the Abrahamic root, same Abrahamic root. So being able to make your own decisions about that's important. The retranslations, the use of the Bible, obviously I've critiqued it on my streamer load, to be translated, retranslated, and politically used, and socially controlled, and all this. And obviously, lots of bad priests have done lots of bad things. So, yeah, I don't think it's necessary in 2024 to say, if I were to look at the world and world religions, I need to adhere to a very strict, a strict way of like seeing it through someone else's religion and their parameters and framework, because from what I understand, like I said, like God and me have a direct relationship, so I'll just do that. Yeah. What's Islam like? It's alright. Bit vague. I don't think I can answer that tonight. It's 2:30 in the morning nearly. I'm nearly ready to finish now. But yeah. No, I think the overall, from what I've been talking about, my sum up on all that would be that the secularization of society is not the best thing in the world. The way we've modernised society in terms of those philosophical ideas that back our identities and behaviours, it's not all wonderful and positive, obviously. And I'm obviously not advocating for some sort of return to a previous age of religious authoritarianism. Yeah, but it's a funny world, isn't it? So yeah, overall though, Ellie Arquette is definitely a blagger, and she's well into all the manifestation. Like, manifestation's a big thing for her, so she's on the blag with it.
What happens with people wanting to manifest a celebrity is that you guys put these celebrities on a pedestal that's like not accessible, that's not reachable. You think that it's not possible to have this person because they're famous, they're wealthy, they're rich, they may have somebody. But the thing is, if you truly wanted them, you can manifest them. Ellie Arquette here.
There is no validity in my mind that you can manifest a relationship with a famous person by sitting in your bedroom and doing whatever the fuck it is that manifesting is.
Hey guys, I hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, I want to talk about how to manifest a celebrity, how to manifest a specific person. There are people out there that are talking about free will, and there are people out there that don't believe in free will, and we're going to talk about all of that in today's video.
To work with me, visit my website elliearquette.com with my personalized life coaching. You can
Like, something that hasn't really been discussed in manifestation is what happens when your goals collide with someone else's. Like, what if I want to manifest the last cookie for me and you want to manifest the last cookie for you? Who gets the last cookie? And does it mean that we're going to have a battle of the strength to manifest? And if it's about that, like we were just laughing at Alan, how come we just don't get together as a group and all just focus on something and make it happen? Because when people have tried to do that, they've failed every time, sort of thing. And it takes us back to a sort of tribal shamanism where you believe there's someone in the tribe that can make it rain.
overcome obstacles, set goals, and create the life you deserve.
If you guys are here for the first time, my name is Ellie Arquette.
Yeah, because I had the compressor on again from earlier. Like, sometimes the volume gets blasted if I'm tired, sorry.
I'm a psychic medium, a mindset manifestation coach, and founder of Ellie Cosmetics. The makeup that you guys see on my face is from
You bought all that makeup from Alibaba and you're trying to sell it on. You're not a founder of a cosmetics company.
my own cosmetic line. I have skincare and makeup, and everything's vegan, organic, cruelty-free. I offer email coaching.
It's not all cruelty-free, it's from China.
Offer one-on-one coaching. I offer email tarot reading. Anything and everything.
Anything and everything that she can do to blag people who are basically not that switched on, and you can't prove it, and maybe an if buts, maybe I sort of believe it, into this bollocks. And that's the problem with the manifesting as well, is that she's not very sophisticated at this, but there are people that are more sophisticated at selling you a load of old bollocks. And because there's a bunch of them, like, the ideas can take hold in society, and have you seen this one, have you heard this one? But it's bollocks. And like, people who aren't that smart, suck it up, basically. Sorry if I'm telling you you're not that smart in chat, but that's not my point there. I'm not trying to specifically say you're not that smart so you believe it. I mean, in general, the reason this works is the same as the Nigerian prince scam. And note that Ellie has got a range of different scams for you to get involved in if you're prepared to suck up any of this bollocks.
You guys need to know regarding how to work with me, the prices, my education, my background, everything is on my website.
And then the others will just say, well, she's a grifter, but we're real ones. But the way there's no way to distinguish between the grifters and the real ones proves that it's all a grift.
Arquette.com. Please give this video a like and consider subscribing if you guys like spirituality.
I agree with what Deb said that while back, is that if you have, like, with the spirituality thing, if it's spiritual, then it's a gift, and it's a spiritual gift, so you really shouldn't be bringing money into it, basically. I actually think she's right there now. That seems a bit right. It seems like I think the spiritual world would probably think that you're profiting off the spirit world is probably a bad thing in some way. Making material gain from the spirit world like that, from your gift, does seem a bit weird, doesn't it, now? But that, even, like I said, like, the crossover here is that you probably find in the world of today that, I mean, literally a few years ago, before the internet, not that long ago, people could have made a good grift with, like, spirit readings and all that bollocks. But the more and more education and video and whatever's out there, the harder and harder it is for them to be to be competing that grift, because people don't believe it as much. Plus, they get outed. Like, back before the internet, people might have exposed a psychic, exposed somebody, but, like, for them to expose them in their little town or on the telly maybe, but, like, nowadays, if a psychic gets exposed, like, everyone can see it, they're done. So, the internet's not a really strong place for these sort of people, is it, to be exposing themselves? So I think, like I said, it's this transfer from, I don't know if it's, like, in a lifetime, so to speak, like, this person, well, it is for some people. They used to be one thing and now they're another. They used to be a tarot reader and now they're selling, or is it she used to sell cosmetics and now she's a tarot reader, and now she's a what is she now? A manifestation coach, and now she designs sunglasses or whatever. Like, it's like this sort of within a lifetime there can be people who have switched grift, but it's more of a social general thing as well. Like, if you're going to start grifting in 2024, you might look at tarot reading and think, well, there's not much hope for that in the future. But this manifestation stuff, everyone's well into this, so It's just like the sort of modern, I want to say witch, but there are Wiccan witches, like it's a reasonable thing. Don't mean witch in a bad way. A woo witch, it's like a modern woo witch, isn't it?
And law of attraction, manifestation, self-development type of videos. So I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't believe in manifest.
And really, it's about trying to make money without actually having to do any work or do anything. Like, it's about trying to make money out of old rope and just talk shit, and then people will give you money for it.
A specific person. So we're going to kind of talk about that really quickly. The biggest difference between law of attraction.
The difference with the old psychic stuff is they actually try and get into your personal life details. They use that for even further nefarious means, probably some of them. And like, it's been proven, hasn't it? Some of them, like the bad scammers, but also just to get inside your head, to get inside your life, like to be able to manipulate you more. And so, interestingly, with the law of attraction, for the people that wrote the book, they're just selling that book. You want to be rich? Buy my book, but for the people that promote and do all this, they use it. I mean, she's doing it about having a relationship with a celebrity, but she's trying to point at something that she thinks her audience really wants, or maybe she really wants, but they will use it. The same thing, like the law of attraction is about your basic, most heartfelt desires, like what drives you, and therefore your vulnerabilities in some way.
Action and law of assumption is actually that. Law of attraction basically suggests that it's best for us to have an overall idea of the type of relationship person we want, not to put a face to it.
Well, here's something stupid then. How do you know exactly what you want? Like, how do you know until you experience things? You might change your mind. I suppose then you change your mind and you don't want it and you get something different. But like, this seems like a bad way to start. Like, I think the better way to explore what I want and to develop a relationship like this, rather than sitting and trying to think about it and manifest it, would be to go out and meet people and explore their personalities. Like,
because if you do that, you're basically going against their free will. And so it's best to generally say, oh, I want a guy or a girl that has these traits, personality, looks, background, finances, whatever you guys want.
She's saying you can't pick Justin Bieber because you're making him do things that are against his will, but you can pick something general and the universe will send you a Harry Styles maybe, like in the same vein, like.
Almost like you make a list of what you desire.
Pick up Snippies. How you doing? A white witch.
In your companion.
No, that's not racism. That's about white magic and black magic and being a good person. Anyway, look.
And then you kind of create that from ether. You just basically give it to the universe and you say, this is what I desire, this is the type of person I want. And then therefore the universe will bring it to you instead of you putting a face to it. Now, law of assumption talks about that you can assume.
So listen, what happens if it doesn't? Then what? Right, that's one big problem. And the second thing is, if I did that exercise, then it's not that the universe would bring it to me. It's like, if I sit down and think about all the different things I'm looking for in a lady, like let's say I think about personality traits and just gonna, I'm not talking about me specifically here, really deep down, but I am a bit. But like, let's say I want someone kind who's like, I don't know, like maybe been a bit of a firecracker in the past, but he's ready to settle down. Yeah. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to go looking at the fucking late bar because everyone's going to be late and drunk, and I don't want, like, my personal, like my girlfriend, my wife for the future is probably not going to be out getting drunk tonight, is she? So like, maybe I don't go there. Like, I'm thinking about these things now, and it leads me towards actually meeting the person. But it's not because the universe is making it happen. It's because I'm actively thinking about and setting out my list. And when I'm walking around and I see someone who's like, oh, she's got, I don't know, like, wait, where's those TikToks? Wait, where's those? Is it not? Is it offering me Ellie Arquette ones? Where's the dancing ladies? Where's my dancing ladies? Show me a dancing lady. Is this a dancing lady?
Oh.
Like, if I see Yugi out of G Idol walking around, like, I'm going to manifest Yugi out of G Idol, and if I see her walking around, I'm going to think, oh, there's that lady I've been trying to manifest. This must be my chance, and I'm going to feel confident. I'm going to walk over to her and say hi, and like, my name's Scott. Have you by any chance been manifesting a scruffy English lad? Do you know what I mean? And she's going to say, absolutely yes, the universe has sent us together. But do you know what I mean? Like, so the chances of me picking her out the crowd, if I hadn't gone through the process of sitting and thinking about and identifying, and therefore what I then look for in life, I'm going to find. Do you know what I mean? So, like, everything is out there in life. Manifestation, therefore, makes you stick a label on something to focus on, and then when you see it in the world, you get it, and you think, that's because I manifested it, not because the world is just a fucking mad conveyor belt of all different stuff going past. And like, otherwise, whenever you get whatever, you're just getting whatever. But beforehand, now you've got it in your mind. When you see it, it's the same thing as thinking that numerology means something. It's the same thing as thinking numbers mean something, because they just patently don't. But because you see, oh, what's the time now? Oh, it's 2:22:22. Oh, all the twos. Fucking hell, that means something. It doesn't. It's just that happens twice a day. 2:22:22 every day. And like, even those numbers are arbitrary. Like, other cultures have different numbers, so like, numbers are just made up by us. If it was Roman numerals, you wouldn't be saying the same thing. Actually, Roman numerals is a bad example. I think that's still decimal, but you don't have to have a decimal system. Like, anyway, like, the point is, it doesn't. Yeah, it's a belief in coincidence. It's using coincidence to reinforce the belief as well. Like, there's another great example of this that I read in one of Darren Brown's books about how people, an example is, you know, when you're crossing the street and you've got a button to press to make the green man go, yeah? And some people think that if you press the button in a certain way, like tap, 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 or there's a thing underneath that goes round that's there for partially sighted people or whatever to put their hand underneath and feel when the thing's going beep, 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 because they can't hear it, so that thing twists around. Some people think you twist that and spin it. What's happened is someone's gone to the lights, the button's been pressed, or it resets every fucking 30 minutes anyway or whatever. The lights are about to turn red, and as they've rocked up, they've pressed the button, and it's turned red. And they've thought, oh, I've done that. Coincidence or not, I've done it. And then they've done it again some other time. It's locked in their head. I can do that. That's some of these lights. It's like a correlation that doesn't exist, and they've applied it in their minds. Because we're human, and that happens all the time. People make incorrect correlations, and it happens when you've got actual statistics as well, because you can't just extrapolate individual statistics from complex patterns and just think that it's a straight thing. But people correlate things poorly with statistics. There's a load of stories in Freakonomics by Stephen Dubner and someone else, like, about statistical correlation that's incorrect. So I think what's more likely with the law of attraction is, if you think it's successful, you're correlating things in your mind that don't exist, because you're preloaded to try and correlate. Like, you're already pre-prepared with all these thoughts about these things that are going to happen. So if they did happen, then you can say it's because of this. But if it doesn't happen, then what? Like, I just don't think there's any like, the other thing that's weird about this is this is a lifestyle. This is more than a lifestyle. I mean, I suppose it's hope. If before you're doing it, what are you doing to improve your life? Fuck nothing. You're watching Jeremy Kyle and eating toffees. So if you do start doing it, now you're watching Jeremy Kyle eating toffees, and you can use your imagination sometimes. Now you've got hope. But it's just selling people that hope, yeah? So how can you, like, value it? How can you create, like, a system of, like, how many, like, this is what I find so bizarre about it, is, like, if you're going to choose a new washing machine, you're probably going to look through all the different washing machines to see which one does it the best and which one works and which one doesn't work and has got the good reviews. And, like, with the law of attraction, like, it's not like there's a load of like, success stories and provable examples, and, like, you know, like, you're basing a important part of your life, you're giving up your sense of self-agency to a certain degree, you know, your ability to control your own life. And maybe that's something you do have to accept, is you can't control everything in your own life, maybe. But you're giving all that up in favour, like, so it's a big life decision, and the proof, the sort of the evidence, you know, the like, the truth of it, like, it's a lot like faith, it's a lot like religion. It's very much a sort of non-religious religion. You're asked to just hand it all over because, well, maybe. Try it and see. You know? It doesn't seem like a very strong ground to build your sort of life choices off. And certainly I'm yet to see somebody who's massively successful and owes it to manifestation. I
that
can see a lot of people who are not very successful who are promoting it and selling all sorts of other wares.
you can have anyone, and that nothing is impossible in the realm of manifestation.
And in that, it feels that's another thing these people tend to do, or used to do, or, you know, maybe society's changed a bit where people see this a bit more clearly for what it is. But it feels like one of those pyramid schemes where whoever sold the book and the ideas in the first place have made their money and they're off and they're away. You know, they've sold their books. Now they've generated this group of people who have bought into it all and have to try and sell on those ideas to try and make their money. Maybe the way to manifest your success is just to manifest some people to buy the fucking manifestation stories off or from. Like, you know, manifest yourself an audience and sell stuff to them. Like, it's marketing, isn't it then? If that's the case, isn't it marketing what you're doing, not manifestation?
So when it comes to that,
like for her it is anyway. She's just bad at them all. Maybe she's just bad at all of those things, marketing and manifestation, all the different things. Like, I think it's just a really weird marketing trick because majority of people will see through it.
That are
I really feel like I'm laying into this stuff now, and like maybe some of you in chat, or maybe at least one of you, believes in this stuff, but hopefully like you still, like, we don't hate each other. These are ideas about manifestation that I'm talking about, and like I really think I'm doing a good thing in the world by saying it like it is and helping people to avoid thought traps that might end up reducing their quality of life overall.
Biggest rift and of the separation between the law of attraction and law of assumption is that because we who practice.
On the other hand, if you are, not you, anyone in chat, but if people are strongly in denial, this is another great tool for them because it's another way of saying it's not my fault. I'm waiting for the universe to do it for me, you know.
Law of assumption believe that we can manifest anything and anyone. Having said that, I do that for clients. If you guys want me to manifest a specific person or a celebrity,
yeah, obviously she says she does that, but it's like $5,000 a go, so we can't test that theory, can we?
I have a service that is manifestation done for you. Of course, it's expensive, and I'm not going to do any of what I do for $100. Sometimes you guys contact me and tell me how much you want to get coaching.
No, they don't.
If I could help you get your person or get your dream home or dream your job or dream car or dream person for $100. Think about that. Think about how cheap that sounds. It's like if I go into a Chanel.
Yeah, but if you could do it, you'd have customers lining up round the block, wouldn't you? So like, there's a cost price. So what you're saying is you can't afford to do it for $100 because not only would it take, like, I don't know how many $100 you want a day, but I don't think you're earning a lot from your makeup and stuff. So like, wouldn't it be like quite beneficial? Like, you take $100 to do it, or maybe like this is economics again, isn't it? Supply and demand. So like, you're offering to supply a service, but there's no demand for it at the price you're setting. The demand is there at $100. So why don't you just provide the service at $100? It would be massively successful, and then you could start raising the price as the demand increased. Or, oh, just don't even get me started on this.
Store, which I am going tomorrow morning on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. I have an appointment with the Chanel store because I want to get a briefcase that is very expensive, and I think it's like a limited, and you have to make an appointment, and you go in there and they show it to you, and then it's like a wait list or whatever. So if I wanted to go get this briefcase, if this briefcase was $100, obviously I wouldn't have to go to a boutique and make an appointment to go for the viewing.
Right, so as we know, the materials that make up that briefcase are not more than thousands of dollars worth of materials. Like, I've seen videos on it on the internet. What you're paying for there is the brand. The design, you can claim it's the design. The brand is the company that makes that design, isn't it? You're paying for the branding, the design, and maybe the experience of walking in and having it, like, you know, maybe all that adds to the mystique of it. But you're paying for something because of its exclusivity, and it's simply a marketing thing, isn't it? So, like, what are you even telling us this for? Why should we follow you and your ideas?
They're going to offer me champagne and pastries. I'm going to sit in a beautiful lounge room at Chanel. Now, whether I cannot afford it or can't afford it is not the issue. That's how I manifest. I go and do things that even if it's out of my budget.
She means she can't even afford the bag. She's just going to set up the appointment, and then at the end of it, she's going to tell them, don't want the bag. I suppose she can.
To train myself that I am going to manifest something like that. This briefcase that I want is $10,000.
What?
If this briefcase was $100 and somebody at the side of the street was selling it for $100 or $50, I wouldn't want it because...
Right, even though it's the same briefcase.
It sounds cheap. People...
So... I know, you know, I don't have to explain it to you, do I, about designer gear and stuff, but she just has. I just... The poor salesperson probably works on commission. Yeah, you're right. Like, imagine doing that. Imagine giving someone the champagne and, like, the way she acts as well, you probably think she was wealthy. And then at the end of it, she doesn't want the bag. And you're just like, fucking hell. I saw a documentary once where this woman, I can't remember what it was, but this woman was going to, it was like the really expensive bags. I don't know what they're called. Like, I want to say Birkenstocks, but that's shoes. I'm not that up to this. But, like, you know, really expensive bags. And she went in the shop and she went, I'm here to buy some bags. And they were like, oh, hello, lovey. Like, you know, they know her because she's in there buying bags, so they like her. Yeah, and, like, you know, it had the bell on the door, so she had to come in and lock doors and all that. And they were like, oh, we've got this bag and this bag. And she was like, no, I don't want any of these bags. Show me the bags that you've got upstairs. Show me the bags that you're not showing anyone else. And he was like, well, there's no bags upstairs that we're not showing anyone else. All of our stock is on the shelves. And she said, listen, I'm here to buy bags, expensive bags. Show me the bags that you don't want to sell anyone else. And he was like, I know what you mean. Let's go upstairs. So like, I think they've got their customers that they, you know, probably sell a lot of expensive bags to. Probably most of them don't even go in the shop. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're just like, the shop is a sort of token gesture to have it there on the high street to look cool. But real, like, high-end people buying expensive bags like that probably just tell their dresser or their, like, what do you call them, you know, their wardrobe person to just, you know, I want the Chanel collection, please, thank you. Have it there in my wardrobe by Monday. I just think it's all a bit, like, contrived, the whole thing myself. Like, I know people like a nice bag and stuff, but I don't want to get into a big debate about designer gear, really, because I do see some value in clothing design and general, you know, fashion and stuff. I do see some value in it, but obviously it gets out of hand as well, doesn't it? That whole world has got a bit out of hand, a bit like the music industry, a bit like everything, because we're human beings. But her approach to all this, what things she's talking about, Ellie's back on our menu again. It's, you know, okay, she's not the only manifestor out there, but for me, she is a really good example of one.
All that understand value, understand that when they go to get a service, the more you pay for your service, the best of the service you're going to.
So now it's a service thing, Ellie. I thought you said it was about the bag you wanted. So you don't really want the bag. You want to be treated like you're a luxury star. You want to pay someone to treat you like you're special. Yeah, that's what you're saying, is the more you pay, the better service you get. Service-based industries, I used to work in one. Like, it's nice to be nice to people. You don't have to treat them like they're the fucking royalty of the world. You try to in a service-based industry. You do try to. That's your aim, really. You know, make the customer feel really happy. But ultimately, everyone understands that we're just humans. So I think it's okay to be human to each other a bit. But what she's saying is she's prepared to pay an exorbitant amount of money, even for a short amount of time, to buy the handbag, because then she feels like a luxury superstar. And that's why they do it. That's why they give you the champagne. That's what you're paying for, isn't it? Like, as part of it all. Except she's not going to pay it. She's just going to do the bit where she gets the champagne, and then she's going to say, I can't afford the bag, or I don't want to buy the bag, it's not for me, which is fucking weird.
See, so having said all of that, I have a service that does just that, manifest for you.
Right, so she does the same thing. She's the handbag. You could get the same shitty handbag without the Coco Chanel label on it down the road for £100 or even less. Yeah, it's the same handbag. Everyone knows it. But she's going to sell it you for Ellie Arquette prices at 10 times up, like 20 times the markup or whatever, because she's Ellie Arquette. And what she's going to do for you is give you a champagne, which she can't because it's on the internet, or whatever it is she's going to do for you. And this is the premise as well of all this. Like, the people that do these or are more successful at these grifts are the ones that get into their audience and make them feel like they're one-on-one friends with their audience. Alan did it to all his spanners, you know, special friends with the spanners. She's saying that her special gift is this service industry thing where she can convince people that she's treating them like royalty and they mean something to her and they're special, when in actual fact it's just for the money. She's doing it for the money, and you should pay through the nose for it because she's explained it.
Meaning that it is done for you. Now, I have to have a conversation with you to find out what it is, who it is, and
You don't have to have that conversation. I could just send you that in an email.
I may adjust my rate. It might be more expensive. It might be less expensive. That's why I always tell people to look at the prices.
So if I want to get it with someone like Yugi from G Idol, it's going to be really expensive because she's like a millionaire already herself. But if I just want Sharon from the chip shop, then maybe she'll do it for a tenner.
And do schedule a discovery call with me so we can discuss what it is that you want
She won't do it for a tenner. She's already told us this. $100 is not enough. It's thousands.
to manifest. EllieArquette.com.
Give me a call so that I can find out what your budget is.
They put your mind at ease that you don't have to worry about free will. Free will doesn't exist.
Right? This is interesting. It's actual theology.
Because everyone is actually in charge of their reality, and whatever
That's free will.
they want to experience, they can experience.
That is free will then.
I can manifest a specific person, a specific celebrity to want to be with me. I have
It's like super free will, isn't it? It's not just I can do what I want. It's that I can have everyone else and everything do what I want as well.
done that before. I'm going to tell you guys.
So she said free will doesn't exist. Oh, wait. Free will doesn't exist because she can... Okay, so what she's saying is, I don't have free will because she can make me do things. Justin Bieber doesn't have free will because she can make him do things. That's what she's saying. And to a certain extent, she might be right insofar as in this, world soup that we're in, you're being manipulated the whole time, aren't you? Like advertisers are trying to manipulate you. People like her are trying to manipulate you. So your free will is being bombarded with attacks upon it, and you think you're doing what you want and your own choices, but actually it's because that woman just sprayed that perfume in your eye when you walk past the makeup counter, and now you keep thinking about how pretty she is and how lovely she smells, and so you go back and ask for a number, and then later on you take her for dinner, and then later on you have the sex. But that wasn't free will. It's because she sprayed the makeup thing in your eye. That's what it is.
Very quickly, very briefly, I can't tell you guys the name because that's tacky, but I have actually dated a lot of celebrities in
Come on.
Hollywood because I like them and I was thinking about them and I wasn't even trying to manifest them. It just happened that I bumped into them. There was a guy in a...
Listen, if you weren't... to be honest, she has hung around Hollywood. I've seen evidence of that. So she may have bumped into an actor she liked. But if you like an actor and you're thinking about them, and then you walk and you see them and you bump into them, that's a coincidence. And the reason you think it's because you manifested it is because you were thinking about them, yeah? But you weren't thinking about all the other actors, and you may have walked past other actors or even bumped into them and not logged it in your brain as a special thing because you hadn't previously been thinking about them. So it's only these coincidences that you're logging in your brain. So this manifestation then is it's a confusion about coincidences.
Vampire movie that I became...
And it's not unlikely if you're in Hollywood, which is a small enough town, for you to be there at the same time as somebody else who lives there. Like the odds are not incredibly high. They're actually quite low when you think about it. The idea is, I've seen statistical analysis, and again, Darren Brown's work, of other coincidences, and I really should get them out on a stream one time to have a good look at them because they're really funny. For example, people think the lottery, how likely is it you're going to win the lottery? Not very, is it? It's really unlikely you're going to win the lottery, like a 1 in a million or whatever, 1 in whatever million. However, every day someone wins the lottery. The chance of the lottery being won is pretty much 1 or 50-50. Like sometimes if it doesn't win, it goes on a rollover. But the lottery is won every week. Somebody wins every week. So it's not unlikely that will happen, that somebody will win the lottery. In fact, it's really likely it happens every week, every year for now several years. I don't know, since they started in the UK for nearly 10 years longer. I mean, longer than 10 years now, 20 years. It's been happening. If it happened to you would think it was the most unlikely thing in the world. I can't believe this has happened. This is out of this world astronomical odds. But the fact that it happens isn't astronomical odds. It's a factor of about 1 or 2. It will happen every probability of 1 or 0 or whatever. No, 1, yeah. So the same thing here is she's into this celebrity, she's into this world. If she happens to see them in the however long she's been spending in that area, it's not because she was magically manifesting them. In fact, if she was magically manifesting them, why didn't she see them more often than just once? Seeing a celebrity just once and bumping into them is something that we've all possibly done in our lives. And if you're living in the area that they live in, is far more likely.
absolutely obsessed with, and I couldn't stop thinking about him, and I was just like, oh my god, he's like my dream guy. One day I was hiking at this place with one of my friends, and we ran into him. He looked at me and I looked at him, and I was like, yes, I'm going to have you. No, of course nothing happened at that moment, but I ran into him again. The second time I ran into him, it was around 5-6 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was winter time, so it was beginning to like get kind of dark. It was a
So what, like sometime later then? I was going to say, are you stalking him? No, it just sometime later, like, you know, bumped into him a second time. So that's it. It proves it works.
Very windy, stormy, like
She
weather.
might even be just making this up. You never know.
It was so windy that I literally like was just like running to get to my car, and I saw him with his dogs, and he seemed concerned for me because of the way I was struggling hiking up this last part, because
It sounds like a dream. Do you remember when she said she met Justin Bieber and whatever, and the video title was I Met Justin Bieber or something, and then the video she said it was in a dream. So, and it was like, what? You did clickbait that you met a celebrity and it was in a dream?
extremely steep. So he came behind me. Now he didn't know that I was the girl that 2 weeks ago he was like staring at.
2 weeks
so
ago
he
now.
came behind me. I turned around.
So it changed seasons. Or maybe it was originally winter the first time when she was going on this hike. But it felt like it changed seasons in the story. But yeah, whatever, Ellie.
Recognized him, he recognized me. I smiled, he smiled, and he was like, you look like you're struggling, I wanted to like help you out. And I was like, thank you so much.
You don't know that he recognized you.
So he almost like pushed me up this very steep like hiking to get to the other side to get to the cars.
In the same, is this the same hiking place? Yeah. So you've met somebody on a hiking trail, like bumped into them on a hiking trail, so you've repeatedly gone back to the same place until you've seen them again, is it?
Because there's two ways to park to go to the canyon. You can either park on top where the infamous Mulholland Drive is, park down on Franklin Avenue where La Brea and Franklin and Hollywood is. I was parked on top. So I was hiking this very steep area to get to my car. Anyways, we went on a date shortly, and well, the rest is history. It was a very delicious...
Well, it is history, because you appear to be living in this bedroom and not going out with this man.
Short romance, but nonetheless, I literally manifested him. Why? Because I used to watch the movie that he was in on repeat. A, I'm obsessed with vampire movies. B, I think I'm a vampire because I'm an empath. The thing that people don't understand, that empaths were actually vampires. Why? Because we take your energy.
I tell you what.
Actually take your energy and we transmute it.
She'll take your monies.
So we have to be vampires.
This is Ellie Arquette.
To do that. That's the thing that people don't know. Everybody thinks like, oh my God, psychic mediums and empaths and light workers are just like these like angels. You guys have to remember, angels are also demons, okay? So like, we are neutral. We can be angelic, we can be demonic. I can be light, I can be dark. I have to be that way because that's my nature. I transmute people's energy. I take your energy. I'm an energy vampire.
She's an energy vampire. This sounds good. I should probably give her some money in order to teach me how to manifest things in life, yeah?
Empath. So I'm going to take that energy from you, transmute it, heal you, and give you positive energy. So I'm basically taking your negative energy, transmuting it, and then I'm giving it back to you, the positive version of that. Yes, I am an energy vampire. But
free armor trimming. Free armor trimming. I'll give you all my armor. Free armor trimming.
Like a good vampire. Because I was watching his movies on repeat, I ran into him twice. The second time led to him asking me out on a date. This is a huge star.
It does sound a little bit like you were stalking him.
Lived up there, up on Hollywood Hills.
He lived there?
I met up with him. We went on a couple of dates. It was a very hot couple of weeks of romance. If I had not seen that movie and had not daydreamed about him, I would not have run into...
You wouldn't have gone up to where he lives and spent days going up and down outside his house. I wonder where she was when he was like this hiking trail. I wonder if the hiking trail was on his property or something, and he's like, hello, can I help you? Are you all right there, stuck up there? And she was like, oh, fancy seeing you here.
to him now. Did it help that I live in Hollywood? Yes. Does it help that I go to Runyon Canyon to go hiking with my friends? Yes. But you could be anywhere in the world and run into your favorite celebrity. The thing that what happens with people wanting to...
Who is the guy? He was in a vampire movie, so I don't know. She's going to keep it vague. Obviously, she's not going to kiss and tell. Like, I don't know if it even happened, to be honest, but who knows? Who knows? Like, she probably manifested a way out of the relationship anyway.
Manifest a celebrity is that you guys put these celebrities on a pedestal that's like not accessible, that's not reachable. You think that it's not possible to have this person because they're famous, they're wealthy, they're rich, they may have somebody. But the thing is, if you truly wanted them, you can manifest them. Sometimes if it doesn't come in, the universe does bring you someone that's like an identical to them. That has happened to me as well. I also used to be a huge Brad Pitt fanatic fan, like obsessed with him. I attracted to myself someone that looked just like him, literally almost had the same birth chart. Another friend of mine who's an Aquarius and madly, obsessively in love with Brad Pitt, actually not only manifested a guy that looked just like Brad Pitt, but she manifested a guy that had his birth chart, his actual birth dates, and he looked like him. So sometimes if the one that you want is not going to come in, the universe by law has to give you what you want.
Okay, I'm going to go None Heights. I'm going to play us out with a song, and it's 3 a.m. Tomorrow's Sunday. We'll do Genshin Impact, and we'll do games, Sunday. Everything's good. You be good. And if you can't, thank you for chilling with me. Thank you for chilling with me. If you can't be good, you're naughty.
Angelina left her baby at the airport, and I have it so someone called Brad Pitt and tell him to pop round to my apartment. He knows where I live. Angelina Jolie, how could you leave your baby at the airport? Jolie thinks she's all that, flying around on private jets all the time. So imagine my surprise, she was flying coach on Southwest with 3 kids and a big stroller. So when she went to the toilet, I followed her and I told her, what have you been telling Brad Pitt about me now? She was pretty rude to me, and during the scuffle, one of the kids fell out. Could you leave your baby at the airport? Oh, you owe me, Jolie. I saved your baby, I give it to Brad Pitt, it's fine. Ooh, yeah.
No one is judging you.
So there's
no judgment.
And I stay locked in the cubicle for at least 10 minutes, sending George Clooney a message. When I got out the stall, the kid was on the floor, so I took it.
Wow. If I curse someone, and if I believe in my heart that something bad is going to come back to me and happen,
how could you leave your baby at the airport? You owe me, Jolie. I saved your baby, I give it to Brad Pitt, it's fine.
This type of magic is solitary. You don't share it with other witches. You don't have a coven.
You should have my number. Text me back, text me back, text me. I'm busy with Justin on Sunday, but just text me, don't worry, Justin is just a friend.
It's going to come back to you threefold.
Angelina Jolie, how could you leave your baby at the airport?
So ancient. It's from thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago.
I saved your baby, I'll give it to Brad Pitt, it's fine.
when the cavemen were like running around, okay? They are our protectors. There's different type of dragons. There's elemental dragons. I don't want to get into that, but I'm saying that I don't believe in that type of magic. I don't believe in that kind of witchcraft where if I do something, it's going to come back to me. And because of that, I had to distance myself from that type of a practice. I consider myself pagan, yes. Am I Wiccan? No, because Wiccans believe in that. But pagans, I can do whatever I want. I can do any type of magic. I have done that so many times for my clients. I want to teach manifestation to my clients, but I also do magic for my clients. Now, I'm not really lately advertising that because I want my clients to learn how to manifest on their own so they're not relying on me. I feel like that's really good karma if you believe in that, because if I am teaching you how to manifest for yourself and you create your own magic and you create your own destiny and your own reality, then it's like,
why is it not? This one's supposed to be the full song, and it's not got the full song. It just ends. I thought we did the full song on that one. That's a bit weird. Well, now this is going to end. Yeah, you be good. If you can't be good, you're naughty. I'll be back tomorrow, Sunday, and then Monday, and then all the days. All the days. All the damn days. All the lovely days. Yeah, and if you want to see something, like, go and check out Battery Exhausted Community Post, because I was on Detractor Beam earlier. Did I put it on Community Post, or did I put it on the Discord? I don't know. Anyway, I don't think I put it in the Community Post, did I? I don't know. Anyway, I was on Detractor Beam earlier, so, like, go and watch that. Detractor Beam. Like, I was on it. You be good, and if you can't be good, you're naughties.